Hello friends, welcome back to your English class. Today we will discuss the third chapter of your textbook, that is Deep Water by William O. Douglas. We will discuss in general about this chapter first, then we will go for text reading, and in the last section we will see some questions and their answers from the previous year's CBSE question papers. So let us see the general introduction of the chapter or the whole summary in one go. The chapter is authored by William O. Douglas. He was a leading advocate of individual rights and a judge for a period of 36 years. The following is an excerpt from his book Of Men and Mountains. In this essay, he has discussed a human psychological instinct, fear factor. Fear. He reveals his aversion of water and his efforts to overcome it. Finally, he is having a dislike for going into any water body, and how did he overcome it, he will discuss in detail in this chapter. In the chapter, three things are mentioned which created this fear in the innocent mind of William Douglas when he was a child. First of all, his mother continuously warned him about the treacherous Yakima River and always warned him of each drowning. This was the first instance when fear of water was created by his mother. Second incident happened when he was of 3 to 4 years of age. His father took him to the beach in California. They went into the surf and he was completely buried in water there. A wave swept over him and he was completely buried. He was very much afraid. He tried to jump over his father, but he could not. Ultimately, he was fear stricken. This was the second incident, and the most important incident happened at a pool at the age of 10 or 11 years, when he was at the YMCA pool to learn swimming. When he tried to learn swimming at the age of 10 to 11 years, one day a misadventure happened with him when nobody was there at the pool. Nobody was there, but the pool is gradually deep. Gradually deep means it is 2 or 3 feet deep at the shallow end and 9 feet deep at the deeper end. This is 9 feet and this is 2 feet. So it is gradually deep. Water was clean and he was having his water wings, but he was not wearing them at that time. He was sitting on the side of the pool because nobody was there and he was afraid of going alone into the pool. Then suddenly a boy came there and tossed him. The boy tossed him into the deep side of the pool. When he was alone at the pool, means the boy tossed him here at the deep end. When he was going into the water, he summoned all his strength. He collected his strength and he tried to jump. When his feet touched the bottom, he tried for 3 times, but all the 3 times he failed. And he saw only water. His nose or mouth couldn't come out of water, so he could not take any breath. He was completely breathless. His lungs were aching. His legs, hands and body is getting paralyzed. He couldn't move them at his own. Then a sheer stark terror seized him. Ultimately, a blackness was there and he was unconscious. After that, when he woke up, he saw that he was lying on the side of the pool and the boy was feeling sorry that he was just fooling with him. So this was an incident which made this fear permanent in the mind of William Douglas, but ultimately he decided to overcome it. Because of this fear, William Douglas had to ruin all his fishing, canoeing, boating and swimming trips, because for all such type of enjoyment one has to go into water body, and William Douglas is very much afraid of going into water. Canoe is a kind of a boat which is sharp at both edges like this. The boat is used generally for fishing trips. When such things happened, William Douglas decided to learn swimming, and he decided to have a trainer for this purpose. He hired a trainer, he went to a pool, and he practiced 5 days a week. The instructor was very tactful. He used a belt, a rope, and a pulley so that William Douglas would not be drowned. He used the pulley to pull the rope, and the rope was attached to the belt of William Douglas when he was swimming into the pool. So, in such a way, he gave him training to go back and forth. Back and forth means from one side of the pool to the other and then coming back. In water, whenever William Douglas goes into water, his face is into the water, a tiny vestiges, some particles, some dim fear comes to him again and again. But he is very courageous, his willpower is strong, and he decided ultimately that he will overcome his fear anyhow. His trainer gave him some more exercises, how to inhale and how to exhale. Inhale means how to breath in and how to breath out. So whenever to take air in our body and whenever to excrete the carbon dioxide outside. So whenever he is having his face into the water, he is to exhale only. When his nose or mouth is out of water, he can inhale. One more exercise was given, that is kicking of legs. Kicking of legs so as to make his muscles stronger and stronger, so as to help him into swimming. So bit by bit, slowly, a perfect swimmer was made by the trainer in William Douglas. But William Douglas was not satisfied up to this point only, and he decided to face the fear alone. He was having all the trainings with him. He was a good swimmer up to this point because he had a training from the trainer, but now he tried it alone. He went to a pool and started swimming alone in the pool. Then he went to Lake Wentworth and swim 2 miles alone. Then he went to Warm Lake for swimming from one side of the Warm Lake to the other shore and then coming back. For 3 times he checked his instinct that whether he is afraid of water still or not. Then the chapter ends here with the conquering note by William Douglas that he has brushed aside his fear factor, and he is quoting a phrase from the words of Mr. Roosevelt. Once he said that all we have to fear is fear itself. Terror only in fear of death. If somebody is feeling fear of death, only then he will feel the terror. So at last he has brushed aside, he has overcome the fear factor which was created at the time of his childhood, and he is now a perfect swimmer. He can swim alone in any kind of a water body. So this is the whole summary, friends, and now we will go for our next section, that is text reading. We will read the whole text of this chapter, and you will see that in these 7 points only I have tried to summarize the chapter up to the best. When you will go through the questions and answers, you will see that no point has been left. All the points have been summarized in this one page only. If you can draw this page in your notebook, it will be quite beneficial for you to revise the whole chapter in 5 or 6 minutes or 10 minutes. So let us read the text. So this is the text of your textbook. Let us read. It had happened when I was 10 or 11 years old. I had decided to learn to swim. There was a pool at the YMCA in Yakima that offered exactly the opportunity. The Yakima River was treacherous. Mother continuously warned against it and kept fresh in my mind the details of each drowning in the river. This was the first instance when fear was created in the young mind of William Douglas when he was a child by his mother. But he is now discussing here that he is now of 10 or 11 years when he has joined YMCA pool. But the YMCA pool was safe. It was only 2 or 3 feet deep at the shallow end, while it was 9 feet deep at the other. Means the pool is gradually deep. Gradually deep means at the shallow end it is 2 or 3 feet, and at the other side it is 9 feet deep. Suppose like this. So the slope is gradual. And while it was 9 feet deep at the other, the drop was gradual. I got a pair of water wings and went to the pool. I hated to walk naked into it and show my skinny legs. But I subdued my pride. Overcome. I overcome my pride and did it. Skinny legs, thin legs. From the beginning, however, I had an aversion to water when I was in it. Aversion, dislike. This started when I was 3 or 4 years old, and father took me to the beach in California, and he and I stood together in the surf when father took him to the surf at the beach in California. I hung on him, yet the waves knocked me down and swept over me. I was buried in water. My breath was gone. I was frightened. Father laughed. But there was terror in my heart at the overpowering force of the waves. He was very much afraid of the power of the waves which knocked him down, and he was quite breathless. My introduction to the YMCA swimming pool received unpleasant memories and stirred childhood fears. Rise again, awaken my childish fears. Friend, there is a question for you. We had discussed this phrase, childish fear, earlier in my videos, earlier in your chapters or poems. You are to tell me where we have discussed this phrase, childhood fear. But in a little while, I gathered confidence. I paddled with my new water wings, watching the other boys and trying to learn by copy, try to imitate them. I did this 2 or 3 times on different days and was just beginning to feel at ease in the water when the misadventure happened. He was getting himself comfortable with the situation of going into water, but a misadventure happened with him. The misadventure is that when I went to the pool when no one else was there. One day, he was alone at the pool. The place was quiet, the water was still, and the tiled bottom was as white and clean as a bathtub. I was timid, coward about going in alone, so I sat on the side of the pool to wait for others. He was waiting there that somebody may also come, and then he will go into water. I had not seen there long when in came a big bruiser of a boy. Bruiser, specimen, body. Big bruiser of a boy, probably 18 years old. He had thick hair on his chest. He was a beautiful physical specimen. His body was having rippling muscles with legs and arms that showed rippling muscles. He yelled, cried. Hi, skinny. How would you like to be ducked? Ducked, thrown into water. How would you like to be thrown into water? With that, he picked me up and tossed me into the deep, and I landed in sitting position. Swallowed water. I gulped some water and went at once to the bottom of the pool. I was frightened, but not yet frightened out of my wits. My reason was working there. On the way down, I planned. When my feet hit the bottom, I would make a big jump, come to the surface, lie flat on it, and paddle to the edge of the pool. I will come to the surface of water just by a kick, and then I will paddle with my legs and come to the edge of the pool. This was my plan, but this plan did not work. It seemed a long way down. Those 9 feet were more like 90, and before I touched bottom, my lungs were ready to break out. My lungs were ready to burst because lungs are used to take breath, and there in the water no air was there, so he couldn't take proper breath. But when my feet hit bottom, I summoned all my strength and made what I thought was a great spring upward. Summoned, called, collected. I collected all my strength and made what I thought was a great spring jump upward. I tried my best to jump upward. I imagined I would bob to the surface like a cock. Bob means do something easily, just like a cock. Instead, cock is a kind of wood, and it can float on water. It can float on water. So just like a cock, I will also come to the surface of water. Instead, I came slowly. I opened my eyes and saw nothing but water. Water that had a dirty yellow tinge to it. I grew panicky. A panic was there in my mind because I couldn't come to the surface of water. I had tried my best for the first time. I reached up as if to grab a rope. William Douglas was trying to catch a rope, and my hands clutched only at water, but there was only water. I was suffocating, feeling difficulty in taking breath, suffocating. I tried to yell, cry. I tried to cry, but no sound came out. Then my eyes and nose came out of the water, but not my mouth. I failed. I flailed at the surface of the water, swallowed and choked. I tried to bring my legs up, but they hung as dead weights. My legs were paralyzed, so I couldn't use them. They were paralyzed and rigid, without movement. A great force was pulling me under. I screamed, I cried, but only the water heard me. I had started on the long journey back to the bottom of the pool. Now again. First time when the boy put him into the water, he went to the bottom of the pool. Now for the second time he is going down. I went down, expending my strength as one in a nightmare fights. an irresistible force. I had lost all my breath. Now he is having no breath left in his lungs. My lungs ached. There is pain in his lungs. My head throbbed, vibrating. It is causing pain. I was getting dizzy. I was getting dizzy, faint. I was fainting because he was not getting proper breath. But I remembered the strategy, the plan. Again, the plan would be the same. I would spring from the bottom of the pool and come like a cock to the surface. I would lie flat on the water, strike out with my arms and thrash my legs. I would try best to come to the surface of water, and then with my legs and arms I will come to the edge of the pool. Then I would get to the edge of the pool and be safe. I went down endlessly. I opened my eyes, nothing but water with a yellow glow color. Yellow color was there, dark water that one could not see through. And then sheer, pure, stark, harsh terror seized me, catched me, caught hold of me. Terror that knows no understanding, terror that knows no control, terror that no one can understand who has not experienced it. I was shrieking, crying underwater. I was paralyzed underwater, stiff, rigid with fear. Even the screams in my throat were frozen. Only my heart and the pounding in my head, the throbbing head and the heart, they were working, said that I was still alive. And then, in the midst of the terror, came a touch of reason. I must remember to jump when I hit the bottom. At last, I felt the tiles under me. My toes reached out as if to grab them. I jumped with everything I had. I tried this time with all of my strength. But the jump made no difference. The water was still around me. I looked for ropes, ladders, water wings, but nothing was there. Only water was there. A mass of yellow water held me. Stark terror, harsh terror, took an even deeper hold on me like a great charge of electricity. I shook and trembled with fright. I was trembling. I was vibrating with fright, with fear. My arms wouldn't move, my legs wouldn't move. I tried to call for help, to call for mother. Nothing happened. But nobody was there to help him. And then, strangely, there was light. I was coming out of the awful yellow water. At least, my eyes were, my nose was almost out too. Then I started down a third time. Again, he is going to the bottom of the pool for the third time. I sucked for air and got water. The yellowish light was going out, and then all of it ceased. I relaxed. I relaxed. He is getting faint, unconscious. Even my legs felt limp, lifeless, and a blackness swept over my brain. It wiped out fear, it wiped out terror. There was no more panic. It was quiet and peaceful. Nothing to be afraid of. This is nice to be drowsy, sleepy. To go to sleep, no need to jump. Too tired to jump. It is nice to be carried gently, to float along in space. Tender arms around me, tender arms like mothers. Now I must go to sleep. It is time to sleep now because he had done his best in the earlier two attempts, and this time he couldn't do anything. I crossed to oblivion. Oblivion means unconsciousness. He was unconscious now, and the curtain of life fell, and his life come to an end. This was a thought of William Douglas, but it did not. The next I remember I was lying on my stomach beside the pool, vomiting. The chap, the boy that threw me in was saying, but I was only fooling. The boy was feeling sorry for that. Someone said the kid nearly died. Be alright now, let us carry him to the locker room. Several hours later, I walked home. I was weak and trembling. I shook and cried when I lay in my bed. I cried for several times when I was in my bed. The slightest exertion upset me. Exertion, hard work. The slightest exertion upset me, making me wobbly in the knees and sick to my stomach. Means he is feeling terror from the very depth of his consciousness. I never went back to the pool. I feared water. I avoided it whenever I could. So he avoided going into any water body. A few years later, when I came to know the waters of cascades, I wanted to get into them. And whenever I did, whether I was wading the Titan or bumping river or bathing in warm lake of goat rocks, the terror that had seized me in the pool would come back. All of his wading excursions were destroyed. Wading means going into the shallow water near some water body. When walking is quite difficult because water is up to your knees. The terror that had seized me in the pool would come back. It would take possession of me completely. My legs would become paralyzed. Icy horror would grab my heart. This handicap stayed with me as the years rolled by in canoes on Main Lake, fishing for landlocked salmon. Salmon is a species of fish. So, whenever he goes for fishing, bass fishing, bass is another species of fish. Bass fishing in New Hampshire, trout fishing, trout is also a fish. Trout fishing in the Deschutes and Metolius in Oregon. Metolius is another species of fish. Fishing for salmon on the Columbia. At Bumping Lake in Cascades, wherever I went, the haunting fear of water followed me. It destroyed my fishing trips, deprived me of the joy of canoeing, boating, and swimming. Canoeing is a ship which is pointed on the both side, like this, somehow like this. I am not good at drawing, friends, bear with me. I used every way I knew to overcome this fear, but it held me firmly in its grip. Finally, one October, I decided to get an instructor and learn to swim. I went to a pool and practiced 5 days a week. Now he has finally decided to overcome his fear of water, so he had hired a trainer, an instructor. So now he is making practice for 5 days a week, an hour each day. The instructor put a belt around me, a rope attached to the belt went through a pulley that ran on an overhead cable. He held on to the end of the rope and we went back and forth. Back and forth means from one side of the pool to the other side while the instructor is having the control of that rope so that William Douglas may not be drowned. Back and forth across the pool, hour after hour, day after day, week after week. On each trip across the pool, a bit of the panic seized me. A piece of the panic, fear, seized me. Each time the instructor relaxed his hold on the rope, I went under. Some of the old terror returned and my legs froze. It was 3 months before the tension began to slake. Then he taught me to put my face under water and exhale. Then the instructor gave me some kind of practices, exercises so that I may be able to swim easily. He gave me an exercise to put my face under water and exhale only, not to inhale. Only exhale whenever my face is in the water. And to raise my nose and inhale. I repeated the exercise hundreds of times, bit by bit, piece by piece. I shed part of the panic that seized me when my head went under water. Next, he held me at the side of the pool and had me kick my legs. Next exercise was given to kick with the legs. For weeks, I did just that. At first, my legs refused to work, but they gradually relaxed, and finally, I could command them. Thus, piece by piece, he built a swimmer. When he had perfected each piece, he put them together into one integrated whole. In April, he said, "Now you can swim, dive off, and swim the length of the pool, crawl, stroke." These dive off and crawl, stroke. These are the swimming exercises, swimming practice. I did. The instructor was finished. Instructor gave me all he had with him, but I was not finished. Still, I have some doubt. William Douglas was having some doubt. So, to clear his doubt, he tested his training. I still wondered if I would be terror stricken when I was alone in the pool. I tried it. I swam the length up and down. Tiny vestiges means small particles, small pieces of the old terror would return, but now I could frown, I could laugh, I could show my teeth and say to that terror trying to scare me, "Ah, well, here is to you. Look." And off I would go for another length of the pool. This was just like a motivation for him whenever the fear returns, even to the slightest part. He made more and more practice for removing the fear from his mind. This went on until July, but I was still not satisfied. I was not sure that all the terror had left, so I went to Lake Wentworth in New Hampshire, dived off a dock at Triggs Island. At Triggs Island in New Hampshire, Lake, what is the name of the lake? Is Wentworth, and swam 2 miles across the lake to Stamp-Act Island from one side of the lake to the other side of the lake to Stamp-Act Island. I swam the crawl, the breaststroke, side stroke, and backstroke. Only once did the terror return. When I was in the middle of the lake, I put my face under and saw nothing but bottomless water. The old sensation returned. Old feeling of fear returned in miniature. I laughed and said, "Well, Mr. Terror, what do you think you can do to me?" It fled and I swam on. Yet I had residual doubts, small left out pieces, residual. At my first opportunity, I hurried west, went up to the Titan, to Conrad Meadows, up the Conrad Creek Trail to Meadow Glacier, and camped in the high meadow by the side of a warm lake. Nearby the warm lake, I camped. Camped means I set up my camp there. The next morning, I striped. I put off my clothes, dived into the lake, and swam across to the other shore and back. Just as dog Orpon used to do, I shouted with joy, and Gilbert Peak returned the echo. Gilbert Peak is just nearby this place. I had conquered my fear of water. Ultimately, William Douglas is sure that he had conquered over his fear of water, which was created years before in his childhood. The experience, the experience had a deep meaning for me, as only those who have known stark terror and conquered it can appreciate. In depth, in death there is peace. In death there is peace. There is terror only in the fear of death, as Roosevelt knew when he said, "All we have to fear is fear itself." Because I had experienced both the sensation of the feeling of dying and terror that fear of it can produce. The will to live somehow grew in intensity. Whenever the fear was there, he made more strong impression on the mind of William Douglas that he get motivated from that, and he tried to overcome this fear. At last I felt released, free to walk the trails and climb the peaks and to brush aside fear. Now William Douglas ultimately declared that he has brushed aside his fear of water. So this is all about the text, friends, and I hope that nothing has left, no point has been new for us, because we discussed all the points in our flowchart mind map. Now we will discuss some questions that have appeared in the previous year's CBSE question papers. Friends, this is question number 1. All we have to fear is fear itself. This is the line by Mr. Roosevelt. When did Douglas learn this lesson? The value points given in the answer key of CBSE are: experience of fear and death and its conquest made him live intensely. All this gave motivation to William Douglas that he is to live. Conquering fear made him realize true value of life and helped him enjoy every moment of life. After that, when fear seized his mind, he gets motivated to enjoy every moment of his life. So he ultimately decided to overcome his fear by training and hard work. Learned all we have to fear is fear itself, made him more confident and determined. Any 2 points you are to mention? Any 2 points, because the question asked by CBSE All India 2016 was of only 3 marks. So any 2 points out of these 4 points will give you full 3 marks. Next question is: fear is something that we must learn to overcome if we want to succeed in life. How did Douglas get over his fear of water? Very important question. How did William Douglas overcome his fear of water? So look at the value points. First of all, he appointed a swimming instructor, went to the pool, practiced 5 days a week and 1 hour each day. In 6 months, learned to swim. In July, tested his newly learnt swimming technique, skills in different lakes and water bodies. In different water bodies, he tested his swimming skill, which he learnt in last 6 months under the instruction of an instructor. So all these points you are to include in your answer so that you may get full 6 marks. I think I have decided, I have declared earlier that all those points which are in our mind map are as per the CBSE value points. So you must draw that mind map in your notebook for easy revision, quick revision, and as per CBSE answers. How did the instructor turn Douglas into a swimmer? The question was asked in 2019. William Douglas engaged an instructor to learn swimming. Instructor made him practice for 5 days a week, an hour each day, tied a rope attached to pulley, free from fear of water, taught him to breathe and exhale underwater, made him kick his legs. All these things we had discussed. How to inhale, how to exhale, how to use the legs at the time of swimming. Piece by piece, he built a swimmer. Any 2 points, if you are only mentioning all the points, it is better. But if you are giving only 2 points, even then you can score full marks, full 3 marks, because the question was of 3 marks only. Question number 4 is, why did William Douglas choose YMCA pool when he decided to learn to swim? Because Yakima River was treacherous. Who told him? His mother told him that Yakima River was treacherous. Many have drowned there. Mother's warning was. His mother continuously warned him that Yakima River is treacherous and so many people have died there due to drowning. YMCA pool was safer, only 2 or 3 feet deep at the shallow end and 9 feet deep at the other, and the drop was gradual. We learned this thing that drop was gradual, like this. Here it is 9 feet deep and here it is 2 feet deep. Next question is, which 2 incidents in the life of William Douglas before he has 10 years old created an aversion in his mind to water? Which 2 incidents? The first incident, that is of the mother when she told him that Yakima River is treacherous, and the second incident when he was of 3 to 4 years old and he went to the beach in California with his father. When he was in surf, he was completely buried in water and he was overpowered by the strength of waves. So let us see the answer. Value points suggested by CBSE. When he was 3 or 4 years old, went to the beach in California with his father. Huge wave knocked him down, swept over him, and he was buried in underwater. He was frightened at the overpowering force. Here CBSE in the answer key gave a special note. Only one incident is mentioned except it has full. If the student writes about the YMCA incident also, he or she should be duly marked. If you are giving mention to the incident of YMCA pool, though you can also get full marks, but actually this was the incident to be mentioned here. Next question is, the question has been asked in 2019 CBSE All India Senior School Certificate Examination in set 1-4, 1-4-2, 1-4-3 for 6 marks. The question was the same, but the language was completely changed. Look at the language. What qualities turned the diffident Douglas into a good swimmer? Then the same question was asked with a different language. Douglas has a near death experience in his childhood, which has a negative as well as positive outcome. Justify the statement with evidences from the text. The third language is childhood fears are deeply entrenched in our mind. Determination, hard work, and right training are needed to get rid of them. Comment on the statement in the light of Douglas' efforts to overcome his fear of water. The question was just the same, that was asked in 3 different languages. So be careful about that. The value points suggested by CBSE are: when he was of 3 to 4 years at California beach, felt suffocated in the surf when he was taken into surf by his father, and the wave swept over him and he was feared. When knocked down by a large wave, misadventure at the YMCA. Then you are to mention the misadventure which had happened with William Douglas at YMCA pool when he was alone, and a boy came there and tossed him into the deep end of the pool. Fears restrict our happiness and joy, deprive him of enjoying fishing trips, canoeing, boating, swimming, and fishing. He was determined to overcome his fear. Ultimately, he decided to overcome his fear. He was taking all such things in a positive manner, and he ultimately decided, he was motivated to overcome this fear factor. The instructor then he hired could build him into a good swimmer only because of his willpower and perseverance. If somebody is not ready to learn anything, you cannot give him anything. A famous saying is there, you can take a horse to water, but you cannot make it drink. So if the person is not ready, receptibility is not there, if you are not ready to receive anything, nobody can teach you anything. So ultimately his willpower was the only motivating force which made him a good swimmer. Douglas tested himself in different locations without any assistance. After the training of 6 months, he was a good swimmer, but he wanted to test all his skills, and he tested in different locations. His steadiness and tenacity empowered him to fight his fear. So these are the value points, and any 3 points could give you full 6 marks. If you are giving mention to only 3 points, you can score easily full 6 marks, but the answer should be in the word limit which is specified in the question paper. You should stick to it. So this is all about this chapter, friends, and now I am leaving it up to you to revise it, to see the video again and again. Questions and answers you are to learn, you are to write down in your notebook, learn them by heart again and again. Make the mind map in your notebook, revise it for 2 or 3 times. You can also send your comments. If you find any convenience, if you find any type of difficulty in your learning, you can drop me a line and I will surely reply you. Thank you very much. Thanks for being with me. You can also visit my blog for more updates. You can subscribe my channel for regular updates. Thank you very much. जय हिंद, जय भारत।